Yes, it is true. The Black Ace Hockey Podcast is finally back in action. My name is Blaine Adams. I'm right here as always with your co-host Nick Jenks Jenkins. What's going on, man?
Not too much, not too much. Lots happened in the hockey world, but we are finally back. I think we had a couple things going on the last few weeks. Couldn't connect, but that's okay. Life gets busy.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the swing of things. You know, you're Mr. World freaking wide over there, and I feel like I've had everything that possibly could happen good wise in the last week with me. So I'll be, hopefully the next time you see me, I'll be in a newer space. So that's always fun. I feel like I move every 2 years now, but yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But the weather's finally breaking. It dipped back into the 20s, but sun's out. There's no snow. Can't really complain over here.
Yeah, we got hit. Did you guys get snow the last few days? We got like this burst of snow early this week, but it's already melted off. Did you get any of that?
We got what was it? Maybe Saturday, or maybe it was Sunday into Monday. It was Saturday into Sunday or Sunday into Monday. One of those combinations. I think we got like an inch and a half. I mean, it left a lot of slush on the ground. That means people forget how to drive because we're past the snow era. So,
Yeah.
we had to deal with that, but nothing too crazy. What about Erie?
We didn't get it too bad. Just like this burst Monday, Tuesday, a little bit
Okay.
where we got a couple inches, but like today it was sun was shining and it was 45 degrees, so it all melted off. So
Yeah.
it's that time of year where it's just a crapshoot. You don't know what the weather's going to be like in March in northern Pennsylvania.
That's true. It's absolutely a disaster. But yeah, man, hockey season's finally over. I feel like we alluded to it for as far as amateurs and high schools goes.
Mhm.
Season for varsity wrapped up last night in Pittsburgh, or not last night. Yeah, it was last night actually. So, congrats to all the winners, and hopefully next year for those that you missed out on the big dance, hopefully we get back in there. But yeah, it's kind of nice to just have a little bit of time back. I know run into the rink, either a coach or a referee or a parent or even a kid, it gets tiring this time of year. You just want to be outside. So I think it's important. A lot of people look over it, but just because there's so much social media out there now, take some time to rest, like break from, like literally don't pick up a hockey stick for like a month. Like you might think that's stupid, but I think it's important for just a reset, a little mental break. Give yourself a break from just being around hockey all the time. Maybe go swing a bat, play some basketball, run outside, those sorts of things. You don't have to be inactive, but just switch it up a little bit. I think it's good for the body. Any fun summer activities you looking forward to, Jenks?
Nothing in particular other than just trying to get out on the golf course as much as possible.
Golf, no pickleball in your
I'm,
future?
I, boy, I can't move that fast.
It's an old man
Those
game,
pickleballers
Jenks.
are
Come on.
crazy, man. Yeah, it's an old man game. I guess they do have it at like retirement homes.
Yeah,
Now,
they
don't
do.
they?
Yeah.
But I've seen some people playing it, and it's like people our age, and they're moving
Yeah,
quick.
because
I'm
they
like,
try
oh
too
my,
hard. See, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to is like finding a pickleball place, but like a chill one where people like to have fun and they're not like super hardo and super weird about it.
yeah,
Like I'm not the only sport that I really want to try still is the ACL, Cornhole League. We got to go to a tournament in Columbus one time, just once, and I think we'd absolutely dominate. So,
I would do it. Let's
all
do
right,
it.
I'm
Let's
I'm
plan it.
freaking down, dude. I think
I'm
the
in.
qualifiers are only in Columbus. It's like Columbus and another city in the United States. So we'll figure it
I'm
out
in.
and
Let's
keep
do it.
everybody posted here. But let's jump into the meat of things. We've been out last couple weeks, and I feel like a few storylines have started to develop. Crosby's back, of course. I think I want to cover that right off the rip. And ain't maybe 4 minutes after he comes back, he pops one in the net. Like This guy is absolutely unreal. Just didn't lose a stride. Came back and was like, "Hey, bud, here's 4 more points tonight to will the Penguins into a better spot in the playoffs." But in typical Pens fashion, we ended up in overtime this year again for our 16th overtime loss of the season. So it's not ideal for the Pens, but good for Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, look, the big question, Sid obviously got hurt at the Olympics, and then shortly after that, Malkin gets a 5-game suspension,
Yeah.
and
Well, he tried to
the
decapitate Dahlin. I
combination.
mean, anybody would accept that.
I I mean, I don't blame him,
Yeah.
but um, I think a lot of people were like, "Are the Pens gonna survive
Yeah.
this? Like, are they gonna fall out of the race?" And it wasn't pretty, but they held their ground. They still are holding on to that second spot in the
Yep.
Metro, and you know they lost. Sure, they lost in Sid's return, but they played the best team in the East, so and took them to overtime.
And we
So
played the
I,
best team
I'm
in the West and absolutely stomped them.
and we smashed them, and I think that just pissed off
Yeah,
McKinnon. So
seriously.
look out, everybody. But I mean, I think the fact that the Pens survived that, and that they've got some guys returning to the lineup, particularly Sid now. Certainly a positive for them, and hopefully they finish the season strong here and carry some momentum in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's actually like fun to watch them now. Like before, it used to be absolutely boring, and like you knew what was coming.
Yeah,
Even if they were up 4 goals, you're like, well, I still don't know if we're gonna win this game. So
right.
it's good to see that they're actually like playing like a solid team now. And the worst thing you want to do is have Crosby be having fun because that guy's an absolute animal when he locks in. If you see Sid smiling, like just know he's not even trying yet. He's not even trying.
Right.
So yeah, good to see him back. And I think you touched on it a little earlier. Crosby got injured in the Olympic play from the Gudas, the Goon. This man takes out yet another star. I think it happened a week and a half ago. Took out Austin Matthews, received a 5-game sussy for that.
Yeah.
Now, Jenks, not only are we taking out the captain of the Canadian team, we're taking out the captain of the United States team. This man needs stopped. He needs put in his place. I'm absolutely sick of
He's
seeing him.
So he was all in the news for all of this, right? You brought it up. He took out Matthews after taking out Crosby, and then it's like, okay, this guy's now public enemy number
for
one.
for
And then
everybody.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw, and then I don't know if you saw Tom Wilson like suplex somebody last
I
night.
did not.
he, he like grabbed this guy. I can't remember who it was. It was oh man, I wish I remembered who the player was, but he basically like grabbed him around the neck and like RKO'd him
Nice.
to the ice. I was like, just a reminder that Tom Wilson is still
Right. Yeah.
public enemy number
And he
one
can score a
because Gudas
bunch
was
of
stealing his
points.
thunder. I mean, I think the if I look back to the Crosby injury, I don't know that I 100% say Gudas was being dirty there. I think the Matthews injury is a completely different conversation, and Gudas is one of these guys who tends to be in this conversation of
Yeah.
dirty player. So hard to say for sure, but he's just picking them off one by one, and hopefully, if he just kills the whole league, then
Yeah.
the cup will be in Anaheim this year.
Yeah. It's tough to see because it's very unfortunate it happens to the same guy. Like that play could have happened to literally anybody, but Gudis being the hit first mentality type of guy steps up, just absolutely obliterates Austin's knee. Now the question is, there's a lot of debate going online about the Maple Leafs not even having a single response to that. They were just like, oh, okay, our captain just got hurt.
Yeah.
What do you say as a coach? Like, you go back into the locker room and you're like, are we fucking kidding me? Not a single person wanted to at least slash Gudis. Like, what are we doing as a team, as a
I mean,
squad?
look, here's the fact of the matter, okay? If I don't care if the hit's clean or not. That's a whole separate debate. If your captain goes down, somebody needs to
Yeah.
respond. Like you need to pull together. You've got to say, "Hey, I've got your back." Okay? If I'm Matthews and I get injured and I look back on that, in the moment you're just worried about how bad your knee
Right.
hurts. It is what it is. But if you
Right.
look back on that and you go back and you watch the hit and then you see nobody respond, you're like,
Yeah.
how I don't feel like anybody's got my
Yep.
back. That's not a good team culture. So if I'm the coach, I'm going back into that room and I'm saying, does nobody care?
Yep.
Did we not see what happened? Why didn't we
Yep.
respond? That's not the way we got to act,
Like,
guys.
I don't care if we're shutting it down for the season. Like, guys, go out there and literally risk your face being broken. Like, it shows you at least care, like you said, and to not see
Right.
that response for your captain, your leader, hopefully for the next few years. It's disappointing to see, especially coming off an Olympic
Yep.
break like that. You don't want your player getting injured that way, but unfortunate things happen, and Canada is just getting riddled with all sorts of injuries, and nothing comes worse at a worse timing for the other Canadian great team. Edmonton Oilers losing Leon Draisaitl potentially for the rest of the regular season.
Hmm.
Now, how will this affect the team moving forward and Connor McDavid? I want to get into this one because I feel like this injury affects more than just the player. It affects the team and Connor
Hmm.
himself. So let me hear your thoughts around Draisaitl's injury.
Yeah, I mean another bad one where it doesn't. If you watch the replay, it doesn't look all that bad in the moment. Um, but the news that he could potentially miss the rest of the season, clearly it's
Yep.
serious. I don't know that Edmonton is necessarily at risk of missing the playoffs because of this, but certainly they're going to lose some momentum. I mean, what if you're that team? This is another case of you know, in some ways I look at it like the Pens, where they've got Crosby and Malkin, and if one of those two goes down, somebody else has to step up,
Yep.
right? So McDavid can't do this by himself. Obviously, knowing that Dreisaitl's down, like, is it going to be Nugent Hopkins? Is it going to be Hyman? Somebody has to
Did you say
step up.
Hyman?
I'm just
The
spitballing
garbage
because the
man?
rest of the roster stinks. Okay,
Fair enough. All right.
it's not going to be their goaltenders. I
Yeah.
can tell you that for
Well,
free.
I mean, Jari already got demoted to backup. I feel like the man literally got traded for Edmonton's starter and became the backup.
Dude, not to derail this conversation, but imagine being Jari and the team being like, "Yeah, we think you're an upgrade to Skinner," and then they get like 5 games in and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, this is what happens with every Penguin starters. I swear, like they get like real good with the Pens, and then all of a sudden you know they fall off. They start to like brick the whole season, and then they get traded and they just tank. So
Yeah,
it's a real bad look for
but
Jari. But yeah, I just think Leon Draisaitl being out for Edmonton long term like this, it's definitely not going to help them. I don't think they
no,
have the squad like you said. That who's next up, right? I don't know. Truly, I don't know who's next up. And then to
that's the problem. Yeah.
right, and piggyback off that, what if Edmonton slides 5-6 games? Now we're talking about LA
Hmm.
coming back into it, Seattle, San Jose's coming back. Like these teams,
Hmm.
if Edmonton goes on a little bit of a losing streak here, these teams can easily slide back into the conversation. And then you look at Connor McDavid and say, hey, okay, he signed just a 2-year agreement. So how does Leon's injury impact him staying? Does the management say, hey, look, Leon was hurt. That's why we missed the playoffs. So like this year, it's going to be different because Leon's back. Well, it's not because there's goalie issues, right? So nothing has changed. It's just status quo as usual in Edmonton. We pay all this money for the core, quote unquote, four, and two of them suck, and one of them's mid, and the other one's great. So it's like, I don't understand the thought process going over there in the western side of Canada, but hopefully they figure it out soon. I know a lot of people over there love their teams, and I think it's one of those unfortunate situations that Leon goes down. But yeah, we hit what 3 injury reports that basically affected every team.
Yep.
Big injury reports, not like lower body. Bo Bennett's out. You're just like, yeah. Okay. I mean, the guy's played 3 solid games his whole career.
Key guys getting injured at an important time of year. It's not a good theme right now.
Important time of year, like you said. Celebrini hitting his stride. I'd say Connor Bedard's hitting his stride, even though the team kind of is not that good anymore. Yep. But all these guys are kind of coming into play, and now you're looking at, is there going to be a switch up in the MVP column? Is it going to be McDavid? I feel like it's McDavid is always going to be the choice, right? He's going to be the choice no matter what. But it's kind of like the LeBron situation. Do we always pick LeBron? Yes, we know he's the best. But at what point do you look at Connor McDavid and say, I need to see even more to give you this again, right? So my question to you, Jenks, and you have it on our little sheet here. Celebrini, has he walked himself straight into a MVP conversation?
So exactly what you said. I think the pick for McDavid is almost too easy. And if you just pick him every year, it gets boring. So I think for McDavid to continue to win, I think he keeps setting a new bar for himself.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Jesus, he's already got 115 points, and we've still got 3 weeks to go here.
A casual, like under the radar 115, like not even a flashy.
Right, like we're not even talking about him anymore.
Right.
Like, it's been a quiet year for McDavid, and he's got 115 points.
Seriously.
So he's set a new standard for himself. Right. But the thing about Celebrini is he's doing something that like we've seen McDavid do now, which is single-handedly dragging a team into the playoff race. So right now, San Jose is 1 point out of the playoffs. Yep. I think this becomes a serious conversation if they get into the playoffs, because nobody on that team has even half as many points as he has.
Yep.
He has 95 points, and the second person on that team has 45 points. So if you think about this from the position of like...
It just sounds so stupid, dude.
It's crazy. But it seriously, if you think about this from the conversation of like, who is truly most valuable to his team, if San Jose makes the playoffs, it is because of Celebrini.
Right.
Full stop. That's it. He dragged that team on his own to the playoffs, and that's incredible.
Yeah, it's wild to see. I even once you said that, I looked it up because it just sounds so stupid. Like Will Smith had a great start to the year and just absolutely stopped. He was just like, nah, Celebrini, you get it. And it's actually insane to think like this man's still producing post Olympics the way he did basically all season, not even missing a stride. I was gonna look at their goaltending because I don't even know who they're freaking. Oh, they have Nedeljkovic as a switch. So they're playing the 2 goalie system where there's not really a true starter. They're just kind of going back and forth with the goalies. So maybe that's kind of a good thing going forward because I really love that system for San Jose and for other teams. But yeah, Celebrini to me is kind of like the MVP of the West right now. I think when you look at Edmonton, there's Connor McDavid, but they also have Bouchard. Like there's also key contributors over there, Leon Draisaitl. So it's you can kind of spread that trophy around the locker room a little bit. But Celebrini, I mean, the Sharks suck. Like they suck bad, and And like the fact that they're even being talked about, it's just like Crosby and the Pens. Like he
Yep.
comes in second season, boom, Pens are in the playoffs. Pens are winning the Stanley Cup the
Yep.
next year. So it's just like
Yep.
I, it's one of those things where you look at like maybe Celebrini is him. Like maybe he is one of these very very elite players, or I would even ask the question. He could be a generational player coming up. I don't think he is right now, but I do think he's in the conversation or on at least the edge of crossing into it if he wills
Yep.
San Jose into the playoff spot. But you know,
Yep.
we talked about it in the early episodes of the podcast. I wanted to see steps from him. I wanted to see steps from other key people, and then I needed to see steps from Jack Hughes this season. I think Jack Hughes had
Yep.
a freaking heck of a season so far. Yeah, he had some injuries along the way, but he comes back every time and puts up freaking goals and points. Um, you know, USA hero, some would say, and now he's in the media in the wrong way. Jenks talking about how it's unfair that his game winning goal is his game winning goal puck is in the Hall of Fame. I want to hear your raw thoughts on this because I feel like I could go either way on it. I know the Hall of Fame had their response too, so at least we get to see both sides and hear from both sides before we make a rash decision on this.
Yeah. So one thing about Jack Hughes is he's never been afraid to say exactly what he's
Yeah.
thinking. Um, he's had a lot of like noteworthy clips in the media because he just says whatever, and he's super casual about it.
Yep.
I respect that. I appreciate that he's not one of these robots that have been told exactly what to say and how to say it. So I don't have any problem with him being honest about it. Um, I don't fully understand exactly how and what the Hockey Hall of Fame is entitled to. Um, I think his comments were pretty direct.
Yeah.
He's used some choice language in his comments, and he feels that he should have that puck. But so yeah, I don't know what the rules are with the Hall of Fame, but as far as the comments go, I don't have any problem with him
Yeah.
being forward and honest and sharing his opinion.
Yeah, I think if he was a robot, he would say like, "Yeah, I don't care. It's like whatever." But you know,
Right.
you have to look at hockey at that level as a business, right? Like everything's for either a clip or everything is for a view or a media appearance
Yep.
or something. So, I yes, Jack Hughes did score that. Yes, he should be entitled to at least maybe a month putting it into his house. I don't know. But at the same time, we look at like what Wayne Gretzky had to give up, like all his Stanley Cup winning jerseys, all his Stanley Cup winning sticks, and things like that. You go back to Crosby, his golden
Yeah.
goal, gloves and stick are in the Hall of Fame. So like you
Yeah.
don't see like maybe behind closed doors, Crosby's kind of upset, but in the same breath, like you're preserving hockey history, and I think the Hall of Fame had a great response. Like, hey, like, yeah, Jack Hughes is entitled to feel that way, but in the same sense, we as a business of preserving the legacy of hockey need this puck,
Mm-hmm.
which technically they own, or it's on loan from the IHF, however that works. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to grow the game, right? Like, imagine going to
Right.
the Hockey Hall of Fame up in Toronto and being like, hey, strolling through and seeing Jack Hughes game-winning puck versus Canada 2026, like that's fucking awesome. Like that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like it might inspire a little kid to be like, oh my God, like my puck's going to be here one day. So I think in that sense, I kind of agree with the Hockey Hall of Fame, but don't get me wrong. I would be freaking livid if I scored and that puck
Yeah.
was going to not my room. So Uh,
What was that? There was. I know this is a completely different situation, but I'm trying to remember the exact scenario. But wasn't there? There was a meaningful goal scored like last year, and one of the other players tried to steal the puck,
Bennington
like
and
put it in
Ovi.
his pants. Yes, that's what it
Yeah,
was. It was
Ovi's
Ovi's goal, and
record breaking.
Binnington tried to steal the
Yep.
puck. Yeah, that's what Hughes should have like
Yep.
grabbed the puck and just shoved it in his
Well, it's
pants.
like that's the thing. Like you're not even thinking about the puck at that moment. You're like, holy
Right,
crap! Like we're
right,
doing it. Like the puck's like an afterthought. Um,
exactly. Yeah,
and I,
yeah.
I saw online some were even saying Bennington had a puck in his pants already loaded and switched it uh, mid play. So that'd be interesting
That's
to
great.
come to find out in a few years. Maybe Bennington's on a podcast. He's like, oh yeah, this is Ovi's fucking game breaking goal. So yeah, it's a crazy moment, crazy time. Everything is
Yeah,
out there in the media, and I feel like if Jack Hughes was in Toronto, he'd absolutely get blasted. So
right.
good for him. I do like his interviews though. You hit it right on the head there. But yeah, jumping over to some lighter news. I feel like we've only talked about like bad things, except Celebrini. But looking at the standings right now, Jenks, would you have thought at the beginning of the year that the Buffalo Sabres would be first in the East?
No, absolutely not. If we were having this conversation, if we were having this preseason conversation, and you said, "Hey, guess what? The Buffalo Sabres are in first place and are going to be in the
Yeah,
playoffs,"
right,
I would have laughed in your
right,
face, and I would have said, "The only first place they're going to be is first overall pick
right.
because they stink." And we're having a completely different conversation, and it's not even like they made huge changes in the roster or anything. Maybe it's just the fact that, like Darlene said, now they're just going out for beers
Right.
together. Um, Maybe there's just a better team
Bring beers
culture there.
back. Bring beers with the boys
Bring
back. Like, what's wrong with that?
beers with the
You know?
boys. There's nothing like beers with the
Yeah.
boys. So Buffalo is having beers with the boys, and it is paying off, and they are in first place, and they are hot.
Yeah, I mean, this team going from the whole Jeff Skinner situation a few years ago, dramatically overpaid for basically a second line center or winger or whatever he was, to now is a complete difference. Maybe it was Mr. Pagula going into the locker room and be like, boys, I will literally sell everybody and ship you off to the IHL or EHL or wherever United Kingdom League there is. But yeah, this team's absolutely on fire right now. I'm sure KeyBank Stadium or Arena or whatever they call it up there is packed to the brim with Buffalo, and they brought back the old school jerseys just in time.
Yeah.
They're probably selling out of those, but we'll see. I'm interested to see who they play in the first round. Maybe they slip a little bit towards the end and fall into that second place category, but right now we're looking at a basically tight Eastern Conference playoff race here between basically, I'd say like 7 teams, maybe 9 teams
Yeah.
if you want to include Philly. It's really a coin flip who gets in right now. And I want to hear you break down who do you think is making it in, who's first out on East and West.
So I think for me, I guess let's start with the West because I think that's a lot cleaner.
Okay.
I think I think Nashville and Winnipeg are making it awfully interesting. They're making a late season push here.
Yep.
I just don't know if they have enough to get it done. I think if you look at the teams that are just above them, um, the tiebreaker in that case would go to like the Sharks or the Kings or even the Kraken for that
Yeah.
matter. So and all of these teams are basically fighting for one spot. I think Utah gets in. I think the divisions are pretty much set in my opinion. I
Okay.
think Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, and then Pacific is Anaheim, Edmonton, Vegas. I think those are pretty set. I think Utah gets in for sure. They've got a pretty good lead on those other teams. I think LA's aggressive pursuit of making the playoffs this year to go out and get Panarin,
Yeah.
I think that pays off, and I think they get it done. Um, and then we're going to see maybe another Edmonton LA first round for the
Right.
70,000th year in a row.
Right. Yeah. It's
So,
actually crazy to see that Pacific division is absolutely tight in that race for who's first, who's third, who's second, and then the Central Division is on the counter opposite side where they're high point scoring, right? 98,
blowing
96,
everybody
90.
out. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they're going to be flip flopping either or, and I would hate to be their first round selection. And usually it's
Yep.
like I would play anybody but Colorado, but literally like
Yep.
all three of those teams scare me. Kaprizov, and then you have Quinn Hughes on
Yep.
Minnesota, and Dallas is absolute, like steady on
Yep.
on their growth. So
Yep.
I agree with you. I think LA's getting in. San Jose just has to pray that Celebrini doesn't get hurt, and then they have a chance. But
Yep.
that's on the risk meter. That's in the 8 to 9 category, where the risk meter on the Kings is kind of 3 4. So I'm definitely with you
Yep.
on the King side. That was a good breakdown on that. Let's flip over to the Eastern Conference here, which
Mm-hmm.
truly any man's race to win. I feel like the Eastern Conference is always like this. I don't know why. I feel like the Pens just need to blow everybody out so we can like relax towards the end of the season. But
Yep.
um, let's
Yep.
let's kick it off here, Jenks. Who do you think's making it, and who do you think's first out?
Yeah. I think I feel pretty good about the divisional placements right now. I mean, if you look at the Atlantic, right, the only team that's at risk of catching Montreal is Ottawa, and they've struggled. They're streaky this year.
Yep.
They go on a nice hot streak and then they get cold for a while. So, and there's a 7 point gap there, and they've only got about 13, 14 games to go. Um, so I don't think they catch them. So I think that division's a lock. It's just about who finishes where. The Metro is interesting because outside of Carolina, there are one, two, three. There are really four teams that are within 4 points of each
Yeah.
other. So, um, I obviously I don't. I think Philly's out. There's no chance they're
Interesting.
catching
Okay.
anybody. Um, I think it becomes between who finishes hot between the Pens, the Islanders, and the Jackets. They'll claim the last two spots in the Metro. And then the wild card's really interesting because you've got the Pens, Islanders, Bruins, Wings, and Jackets all within 3 points of each
Yep.
other. Um, so somebody is going to get caught looking in, outside looking in at the end of this. And man, Columbus is hot right now, but I just look at that roster and I just say, who's the guy
Yeah.
that's carrying this team? You look at all these other teams and they've got somebody who you're like, if I need a goal, I can put out Sid.
Right.
If I need a goal, I can put out Pasta. If I need a goal, I can put out, Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin, and there's a combination to Brinkett. There's a combination in Detroit.
Patty
I don't
Kane.
know who that is in
Yeah.
Columbus. Patty Kane, he's still hanging around. I just don't know that Columbus has that
You could
it
look at their
that it
defense. You
factor.
could just leave Wierenski out there for 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, but at some point he's going to get run over by the Tom Wilson suplex, and then he's going to be out too. So
I know. I want to look at his time on ice average. His average is like 26, 27 minutes on ice. Half the game.
I think the only guy in the NHL that plays more minutes than him is Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
It's
I think that's the list.
stupid. But yeah, I mean, Columbus is definitely one of those weird teams that always seems to like make it interesting towards the end of the year. They're never really out of the
Yeah.
playoff conversation. Obviously, it's the Pens year to just have fun, and I think that's what they're doing.
Right.
And they're shocking a lot of teams. I don't know if anybody in the Eastern Conference would have thought Pittsburgh would have been in. I think everybody knows that
Right.
we're kind of rebuilding for Sid's last year. So I think if we can keep that momentum going, Pitt, Islanders, and Boston are going to be in. I don't know if Detroit has enough star power. Like they have a lot of like young talent, kind of like the old Montreal's. Like Montreal is finally like converting their young talent into actual stars like Suzuki, Lane Hudson, Cole Caulfield. So like I think they're getting contributions out of that aspect right now. But Detroit just always seems to have that second tier level of stars.
Yep.
Like Larkin's good. I love Larkin, but he's on the older end, right? Patty Kane on the older end, his over the hill of his career. Now you look at who's left: DeBrincat, Raymond, and what's that? Modor. What is his last name?
Mo Sider.
Cider. Yeah, I smashed their name together.
It's it's weird because I think when I think of Detroit, you named off a few older and younger guys there. It's like they don't have anybody right in that sweet spot, like that.
Yeah.
The prime of their career. It's they've got that handful of guys that's on the back nine, and then they've got all these young guys that are coming in and starting to show some skill.
Yeah.
So they're in a weird spot, and I think they went out in the offseason and got John Gibson, and when he's been healthy, he's been really good, but he's another guy that just can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Always bitten by the injury bug. So
yeah. I mean, you can't even say DeBrincat's a young kid anymore either. What, he's 9-10 years into the league. Now? I mean, he was on the Erie Otters when I was at Gannon, so that's at least
he's 28.
Yeah. So I mean, you wake up every morning, you got to pop the ankles around and make sure everything cracks right. So it's a different feeling nowadays. So I just don't see where, like you said in Columbus, where that person's like, I need a goal right now. You'll get it eventually, but if you said, hey Sid, go score, Sid's gonna score. So I think if I was a betting man, Jenks, I think Philly rallies back. I truly do. I think Philly really squeezes in and Detroit's coming out. I don't think Ottawa is they're just so bad all the time. Like there's not any real scores. And I think Konechny's just going to absolutely terrorize the Metro and finish strong. And I think Zegras is going to want to prove a point, and maybe Tockett's the coach, right? Yeah.
In Philly,
so maybe he's just going to come into the locker room and absolutely freaking whip these boys back into shape to end the season strong. And I truly do. And I hope to God the Pens finish first in the Metro, and we get them first round and we absolutely end their careers. So that's my my little thought process.
By the math right now.
Yeah.
Philly has a 6% chance of making the playoffs.
That's all I need. 6% of the dream.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I mean, what?
There's a chance.
Detroit loses 2 games, Philly wins 2 games, and we're right back in it.
Yeah.
So like that's how tight this race is. I mean, look at the Caps. The Caps are right there. I would say New Jersey's a little further. That's a 5-game slump that some of these teams would have to go on. But truly, if you want to get like crazy with it, I would say there's almost 12 teams in the race still for the East. The only team eliminated to me is the Rangers.
Oh yeah, the Rangers are smoked. Yeah. They're so far out of it.
And then anybody else truly could, like, if they have a run and one team slips, they're right back. They're right in it. So
it's tight. Yep.
The Eastern is a wild place to be and a wild place to be a fan of, but it's what we do. It's what we put ourselves through. So it is what it is. I want to know who's your President's Trophy winners, though.
Oh, it's Colorado.
You think they finish it off?
That is easy money.
After they just got absolutely bundled by Pittsburgh?
Colorado does this every once in a while where they'll win like 8 games in a row, and then they'll just get completely buckled by somebody who they probably should have beat.
Right.
And then they'll come right back and just be like, "Oh, just kidding. We're still the best team in the world."
Yeah, I agree.
They're so good.
Yeah, I think Colorado's going to take it. Although I think the Stars are going to press them towards the end. So it's going to be
Oh yeah.
a tight race over there, which is going to be fun for us in the playoffs per usual. Surprise of the season. I know I didn't put this on the list. I'm putting you on the spot here. Who's your team that you're most shocked about at this stage, besides the Pens? You're the most shocked
Yeah.
about this season so far.
I mean, I think the two easy answers are Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Um, I think one of I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to go a different direction.
Okay.
I think I'm most surprised by, outside of those two, of
Yep.
course. I've been surprised by the Islanders' success, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of that goes to how quickly Schaefer got
I
up
would
to
agree with
speed.
that. Yeah.
He single-handedly turned that team around. I mean, you want to talk MVP? I mean, he's not going to win the
Team
MVP,
MVP.
but
Yeah.
he has been the MVP of the Islanders. And for them to be, I don't think they were even planning on being in playoffs this year. And I think they saw how quickly Schaefer started taking over games, and they said, "Oh, wait a minute, we can do this."
Yeah.
So I think the Islanders have been another team that's been surprising for me this
Yeah.
year. What about you? Who else you got?
So I'm gonna go with the Utah Mammoth. I think going from one state to the other and absolutely getting dog walked in Phoenix or Arizona, whatever you want to call it, made them maybe say, "Hey, fresh start, new team." I don't. Utah has taxes?
I have no idea, actually.
I think they have
I don't
taxes.
know anybody in Utah.
Yeah,
Who lives in Utah?
nobody. The Secret Lives of the
Mormons?
Mormons girl that throws chairs at people.
Oh my God.
You see
Here
that?
we go.
You're a big
saw it.
Bachelorette fan, though. I heard.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I figured.
I kept reading something. I wonder if they're even gonna do it now. With
Because she did you see the video? She was chucking chairs at the dude.
yeah, dude. Like, what? How do you even? I don't. Whatever. That's a whole separate
Reality
topic. We
TV
gotta start
women, man. I don't even
We're-
know. I don't understand. It's all fake.
Follow us on our second channel for
Yeah, yeah.
reality TV talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get into it. Anyway, let's wrap up with the writing on the wall pick for Saturday. What's Saturday looking like? Is Saturday a full slate of games? March 21st. Yeah, full slate. Pens play at 1:00. Nice. All right. What's your writing on the wall pick for Saturday?
So I mean, this is all relevant to the conversation we were having about playoffs, right? There are a lot of like head-to-head matchups of teams fighting for playoff spots on Saturday. And you could pick any one of these, but I'm going straight to Boston, Detroit.
Okay. Yeah.
In Detroit,
It's a big one.
they're currently tied in points. Like, they're both fighting for their playoff lives. I think this is going to be just a classic old school matchup, and I think it's going to be a great game to watch. I just think the Red Wings are the better team all around right now. Pasta's probably the best player in the game individually, but I think you said it best: is the Red Wings just find this depth. They don't have a posture knock, but they've got three lines that they can roll.
Right.
So I'm going in this huge playoff matchup. I'm going Red Wings over Bruins.
That's a good choice. Yeah, I didn't realize this is like playoff city over here. I'm gonna go another playoff matchup potentially. Stars Wild. I think we're gonna see potentially that being the first round for some of these people or these teams, and this is a scary sight. I mean, Wild versus the Stars. If I had to pick off the hip, I would pick Wild, but I mean, the Stars just always figure it out. They're like the best middle tier team that somehow figures out how to go to the conference final. Like, they shouldn't be any good. Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin literally suck in fantasy hockey, and I pick them every year in the second round thinking they're good, and they absolutely suck. All right? But, now they have Mikko Rantanen. Robertson's coming in. What's that? Hintz is freaking firing on all cylinders. I just think, their goaltending's freaking nasty with Ottinger being the backup to Hellebuck in the Olympics. I can't not pick the Stars here. I'm going Stars over the Wild. I know the Wild have a great goaltending going on right now in Gustafsson, and they got Quinn Hughes firing, but I just think the Stars are so well balanced. It's sickening to even think about. Stars over Wild, responsibly, of course.
Yep. I like that.
All right, Jenks. Any final words for the fellows out there?
So I know we didn't touch on college this week.
Oh, college, that's right.
The conference championships are wrapping up this week. Sunday, we will know what the tournament bracket looks like. So next week, let's run through some college, what we think for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Good call out there. Yeah, I was seeing on Instagram that all the tournaments were kind of wrapping up. So it'll be a fun time in hockey land next couple months here. So it'll be interesting. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram at Black Aces Hockey Podcast. And I'm your co-host, Blaine Adams. I'm right here as always with your co-host, Nick Jenks Jenkins. And we're out of here later.